Any questions? I thought just real quick about our guys. I thought it was one of Tariq's best games actually. I know he didn't shoot the way he has been, but he didn't let it impact his game. He made some really nice passes. Thought his defense was really good. Our bench, Jacob Grandison came in and hit 3 big threes. Ryan Young, we won by 24 when he was in the game. So I guess that's on me. But Derek, him and Derek, they have a great 1-2 punch. We have 2 great guys there. And then Jeremy to close, thought he was really good. I could go on and on about each of our guys. They all stepped up. So why don't you ask me questions and then I can answer it for you.
Jon, team had 19 assists tonight after having 22 against Syracuse and 16 against Notre Dame. What would you say has most contributed just to the improvement in ball movement?
I would say it's 2 things. One, we're getting a feel for each other. Early in the year we've had to do a lot of different things when you talk about the roles that guys are playing and the continuity. And so just the experience of playing with each other, understanding who's going to be where, and then just understanding the value of every play. And so plays that you make in high school or where you drive the ball, defenses are going to collapse and you have to make the right kick and make the right read. So I just think the experience of being in those spots have really helped. And then understanding it's the difference of winning and losing. It's when you turn the ball over, it's a huge difference. So really proud of really the last 3 halves. We had 2 turnovers in the second half of the Syracuse game until the final minute, and then tonight having 6. That's a trend I hope we can continue to see.
Jon, you mentioned this being one of Tariq's best games, even though maybe he didn't shoot the ball as well. Do you sort of see that as the next step in his return and getting back to 100%? And also, he didn't maybe shoot the ball great tonight, but why do you, or to what do you attribute the improvements in him as a shooter the past couple of weeks?
Brendan, I think it's just for Tariq putting the value on himself that he's more than just a scorer. And the way he shot the ball, he does that in practice too. Like that's not just a fluke. Like he's legit, a really good shooter. The thing for him is just attacking the basket because the game plan is, I'm sure a scouting report is going to see try to take away the 3 for him. And so he missed some finishes. I think he'll make those. The more he does that, the better. I loved his passing, and that's the thing I loved about him as a player in high school. Just he always could impact the game in many different ways. I thought his defense was really probably one of the best defensive games he's played, and I want him to feel a lot to get a lot of confidence from this moment tonight.
Jon, this was a big game for Ellis. He's from Durham.
Sure.
Had a bunch of his family here. Scored a game high 21 points. Having watched him play for the first time this season in person, what are some of the things about the game or his game that you like from him?
Well, when we played Louisville last year, Ellis, he had a big time game then too. So we've known what he's capable of. You watch him play other teams, and coming back home, I can only imagine how he feels. So we knew he was going to come out ready to play, ready to shoot. And after that initial burst, I actually thought we did a pretty good job on him. He's going to put up those numbers. 21-7. And having Derek at the basket is a game changer. They did some good things to pull him away from the basket. And I thought Jeremy and Tyrese overall really battled him. But he's a really good player, and he's really dangerous any given night.
What do you think the quick turnaround and succeeding in it tonight says about how the team is going to handle some of those moments, and the big moments, in the next month or so?
To me, it just speaks to our growth. That's what we've harped on to our guys all year round. Just let's continue to grow. Let's continue to be at our best when our best is required and when our best is needed down the stretch. And when they start saying it to each other, the message is getting through. They're taking great ownership because they really want to get this one tonight, just to keep this thing going. We've had a good stretch. Really the last couple weeks we've had. Not to say we haven't had a game where we haven't played as well, but we're trending in the right direction, and we'll continue to learn and grow.
14-0 at home now, starting off your first year as head coach. What does it say about how the players feel when they're playing on this home court? And does it go beyond just getting that little burst of energy from the fans?
Well, our fans are the best in the country, hands down. For me, my favorite chant is when they, chant "Our House." That's always been my favorite one. It means we're winning or about to win, and just have a lot of pride. I'll never forget the first time I ever came here as a recruit. that's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with, Cameron. Chris Collins thinks it was his recruiting. It was Cameron and Coach K. And that's for me I'll never forget it. So anytime you step out here, again, you hope you have that record all the time, but just the way you want to represent, I have a tremendous amount of pride, in coming out here, and I know our players do as well.
When you talk about the growth this team's made, Louisville gets off that fast start, they get a 9-point lead. There have been other games this year away from here that's turned into a bigger lead for the other team. But what did you see in the guys' faces tonight about they weren't going to let that get any worse, they were going to come back and take the lead?
I just felt like we've been in enough situations now where we know what it takes. It's a matter of doing it, and before Steve getting in those moments, I don't think we knew what to do. And now it's dig down, our fundamentals on defense, trust them. That's why we've been working all year at it. And usually on offense, when we're sharing that thing and it's moving, we've been a hard team to guard. And I don't think it sticks. It didn't really stick much tonight. There's a couple plays, you could point out, but when we share it that way, we have enough weapons on the floor, we're going to score the ball and just trust in it.
Is there anything markedly different about this Saturday to Monday swing in the first two?
I don't think so. I think it's more so just the experience of doing it. I just think there's just such an incredible amount of value going through the year that we've had, the non-conference schedule, the road games early in ACC. It's prepared us to handle those moments where you get down, 18-9, I think, or something like that, 18-9. And, we've kind of seen it all for the most part this year. And so, anything that comes our way, we'll be prepared for it.
Earlier in the year, you seemed like you put Mark Mitchell on the other team's best player. It felt like you had confidence in Tyrese to battle through on Ellis. What does that say about his progression on defense and your trust in him?
Yeah, I'll have to ask our guys for the numbers after this game, but Tyrese coming in the last couple of weeks, he's been, percentage-wise, we have all these analytics and numbers. He's been, 90th percentile in the country. Just when he's guarding the ball, he does a great job, and anybody gets scored on, but he makes life really difficult. He's incredibly disciplined. He has great balance, really good attention, and he did a great job tonight. Ellis is going to score and all that, but have a lot of confidence in him. We feel like our starting perimeter, and then we come in same way off the bench, but Jeremy, Tyrese, and Mark, that's a big-time defensive group that, that's why our numbers have been really good on that end.
What was it like having Nolan Smith back here tonight?
Yeah, it's Nolan, we've been through a lot of battles together in between those lines. And, he's been a long-time friend of mine, and I don't know if it's, like I've coached against Jeff earlier this year, but Nolan and I, we have so much history together. So I'm happy for him where he's at, and Louisville is home for him. But it's great seeing him doing a great job, and just didn't think it would be going against each other, and that's how it goes. And he's on his journey, and the moments that we've shared here, that's something I'll always cherish, always.
Can you talk a little bit about Derek's game tonight? Offespecially kind of when you were down in that first half, he really stepped it up on the offensive side of the ball and got y'all back in front.
I'm sorry, who'd you say?
Derek.
Yeah, his offense has been just steadily improving. Knocked in his free throws, caught some passes in traffic, and he's just, he's a threat out there. You can see the defense trying to react. Do you help up? Do you not? Because he's back there, and our guys have gotten used to knowing how to play with him and help him. And the thing that, I know he only had 1 assist, but he can really pass. For us, he's a huge threat. Sometimes we'll hit him on some short rolls, and when he gets the ball, he has a way of just, knocking it out there and us hitting open threes. But he had a really good overall game today.
Jon, you talked a lot about basketball maturity, obviously, but a lot of what you're saying is also emotional maturity, the ability to kind of bounce back and stuff. How hard is it to wait for that to come? To know that it has to come right for it to be successful.
It's hard. I'm not a patient person. I've never been a patient person, and with this group, I think patience is required. And I'm really proud of all of them, because the thing at this stage of the season, you go through some adversity, whether it be individually, collectively, and they're as together as could be, they're as hungry as could be, and I think it speaks to the character of the guys that we have. I'm proud of that, but it's not easy. It's not easy to win a game in the ACC. It's not easy to win basketball games at Duke when you get everybody's best shot, and we've learned and grown this whole year and just need to continue to do that. Can't stop now.
What is it about Jeremy's game that tonight when I know he wasn't playing bad, but it felt like he kicked it up to just a whole other level when Louisville, not coming back, but kind of cuts it down to 10 and then he scores 6 straight points? Why does he have that extra year?
Well, he's been through it, and we go as he goes. Jeremy, I didn't think he got off to the best start, but he's our guy. And I thought for being our leading scorer, him and Flip all year long, he was patient when he came back in, when not forcing things, because it's any guy that we've had here that scored a lot of points. You want him wired to do that, and he just kept making the right play. And so by the end of the game, it really opened up for him. So I thought it showed a lot of maturity on his part, and he really came through, especially down the stretch.
With Mark, again, a couple deflections tonight. He blocked a 3, a couple steals, gave you some slashing, some cutting. What is Mark's two-way impact meant to this team? Kind of feels like he flies under the radar sometimes. He's a constant for you guys.
He does. He's people call him Easy. That's his family calls him Easy. Depends on the moment whether I call him Mark or Easy. Usually during the games I call him Mark, and other times I call him. Did this just go out? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. But he's easy to play with. He's a guy that he blends. He's all about winning. He actually had, I think he missed a dunk and another finish. He could have had even more tonight, but for him, he's made a jump. He got a little knockback a couple weeks ago, and he has just stuck with it. He's been so consistent as far as from a work standpoint, and it's translated to what he does on the floor. He can guard 1 through 5, literally, and offensively, he hit open threes, slashes, rebounds. He does it all. So, I'm just proud of him.
All right, Coach, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.